YouTube, what's going on? It's the Fantasy Professor back at it again with a brand new video. I've been gone for a while. I know I have on YouTube. Thank you for your comments, wishing me well, asking if I was okay, blah blah blah. So let me give you the rundown. So as you can see, not in an actual house. I'm in a dorm room at my school, and school's been kind of rough. So I had to deal with some of that stuff. But anyway, I want to get right back on track because I'm so excited to give you guys this lineup and slate breakdown for tonight, especially. So, starting off tonight, we got an 8-game slate. First game on the slate, it's the Knicks versus the Pacers. Some guys I like in this game. I like Paul George. Now, the Knicks are on a back-to-back, so I don't think Melo is going to be especially as effective as before. Miles Turner is also a player you can pivot to, as well as I'm just looking at the lineups. Jeff T. I don't like him against Derrick Rose because Derrick Rose isn't a bad defender. I don't really like anyone on the Knicks because I feel like they're going to get blown out in this game. If you wanted to target someone, maybe Courtney Lee has a nice bounce back spot, or Monte Ellis, because I picked Monte Ellis 2 days ago and he just burned me, man. It's rough. It's hard rostering a guy that doesn't even play or do well. Next game on the slate, we got New Orleans and Boston. Now, the Boston Celtics just played last night. I had a lot of Marcus Smart, Al Horford. So those guys you can look to today. I don't know, on a back-to-back, they're going to need Al Horford and all the big guys to contain Anthony Davis, and that's the reason why I like him. He's a good GPP play, as well as I actually like Kelly Olynyk better than Amir Johnson, even though Amir had almost a 40 fantasy point game yesterday. Isaiah Thomas, I don't like him against Drew Holiday's defense, especially on a back-to-back. Avery Bradley and Jay Crowder are interesting. If you wanted to stack both of them, Tyreek and who's there? Buddy Hield. Oh, I feel like Buddy Hield is going to get shut down, so I don't like Buddy Hield in this matchup at all. So with that being said, Avery Bradley is a prime play to shut down Buddy Hield. He likes doing that stuff. Even if he's on Drew Holiday, he'll shut any of them down. On the flip side, I actually like Terrence Jones in this spot. I know everyone's going to gravitate towards Anthony Davis right away. I have a whole bunch of shares of him. I have 63 lineups. I just made a whole bunch of 25-cent lineups with my winnings from last night. I won $15. It's nothing. So I put it all back in, made some lineups, and yeah. So Buddy Hield, I don't like Buddy Hield as much. If he was starting and Etwan Moore is coming off the bench, I like Etwan Moore in that spot. Small forwards, don't like the small forward against Jay Crowder. That's a no. If it turns into a blowout, Terrence Jones is going to get run. So I'm heavily endorsing him. I hope you get him into some of your lineups. If you're like me and you made a whole million lineups or whatever. So that pretty much covers that game. Next game, Denver and OKC, 8 o'clock. You know what the deal is. Russell Westbrook, $12,900, but you're paying a heavy premium for him. So if that's the risk you want to take, and you just want the 50 to 60 points that he'll normally get in that range, knock yourself out. But I actually feel like because he got beat by James Harden, he's going to come out with a vengeance, and I feel like he's going to put up a 70 to 80 fantasy point game. And I feel like it's the type of game where if you don't have him in your roster, you're gonna probably lose. So I don't feel like it's a balanced lineup night. I feel like it's a stars and scrubs. You might as well just take Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis and punt out the rest in that mid 4K range. I did that with some. Oladipo, interesting. Gary Harris plays good defense. I don't know how comfortable I am with that price jump. It went up significantly on DK. He's 6,600, and hold on, let me see last game. Last game he's at 6,000. So when he came back for injury, he started off at 5,400, and now it's all the way up to 6,600. So if that's the risk you want to take, by all means, go right ahead. I won't have any shares of Victor Oladipo, but GPP tournaments, I could see the favor. Now, so here's the main reason why I love this game so much. If Nikola Jokic is out tonight, So is Kenneth Faried. He's questionable. All those minutes are going to go to Jusuf Nurkic right away. So right away, he is your ultimate punt play of the day, but he will be very chalky because everyone knows about this questionable tag. Anyone that's played DFS knows that if you're going to go and pick Nikola Jokic, which most people do on occasion, and he's usually 20 or 30% owned because of his high upside, you know that he's questionable for today. So is Kenneth Faried. I'm looking at it right now. So that's going to open up a lot more time for Jusuf Nurkic. Another spot I like Emanuel Mudiay. He's only priced at 4,600. He's in a great spot against Russell Westbrook, and it's a nice bounce back game considering I had him in 75% of my lineups against the Spurs, and he absolutely did horrible. He only had I think 18 fantasy points or whatnot. I don't know. Some guys you can consider Gallinari and Wilson Chandler as always. They're in some good spots. Andre Robertson is probably going to be covering. Who's going to be covering? Either Gary Harris or I think Westbrook should be on Emanuel Mudiay. So I think that'll be a good back and forth if you want to target them both. On the flip side, you got Westbrook. Enes Kanter, if it's a blowout, I like thinking about if it's a blowout because the starters won't play as much minutes. With that being said, without Nikola Jokic, Steven Adams and Kanter actually look very, very good. They're priced around the similar price range. Adams is 5,700 and Kanter is 5,200. So you can go either way. If you think it's going to be a blowout, I would go with Enes Kanter. He's probably going to get 30 minutes, upwards of that if you're thinking that way. Or Adams, if it's a close game, it's going to be Adams in this game. Besides that, I don't really like anyone else on OKC. Next game, we got Utah and Minnesota. I'm sorry, I don't have the over-unders, and I don't have access to that room that I always write all my stuff on. But later on in the week, I'll be getting to that. So I'm just doing this in my room because I wanted to get this out to you guys. I just came back last night, so I wanted to get this out and let's try to win some money tonight. So it's Utah and Minnesota. Minnesota's on a back-to-back. They just lost to the Wizards last night, so I really, really like the Minnesota Timberwolves to come out angry. I think Tom Thibodeau is going to get them riled up and wanting to go at Utah. I feel like it's going to be a close game, close back-and-forth game. I don't feel like it's going to be a blowout. They're going to fight hard, as always. They're the young Timberwolves, the young pups. That's basically who they are and who they've always been. But with saying that, I still like Rudy Gobert at 7,100, going against Towns on a back-to-back. Now, Thibodeau plays the starters. He played them 38 minutes last night, and almost 38 minutes before that. So if they're in a 3 and 4, I don't know if they are. And if they are, I don't like any of the Timberwolves. But Shabazz Muhammad is questionable, so I do like Andrew Wiggins. Zach LaVine is always in play. I don't know how he'll do against Rodney Hood's defense. He is the number one DVP against shooting guards, mainly because of him. So he probably shuts down some opposing shooting guards. It could limit Zach LaVine's production, but if that's the risk you want to go, GPPs, he's the ultimate GPP play. Towns against Gobert, I don't like the matchup. He's priced down almost $1,000 from last game. Last game he was at 9,600. Now he's at 8,700. So if you like the discount, by all means go ahead and take Towns. Gorgie Jang, no, not against Favors. Rubio, don't like the matchup. Maybe you could punt Chris Dunn because if they played so many minutes last night, the starters, let's say Rubio gets injured or it turns into another blowout, Dunn's going to be in there for almost 20 minutes. At 3K, it could be your ultimate punt play of the night. Who else do I like on Utah? I don't really like Gordon Hayward. I don't know why. But at 7,400, even though he's a good price, I don't know how he'll do against Andrew Wiggins. I don't know. I just don't have a good feeling about that. Shelvin Mack, with Exum back, he's going to eat into those minutes. I don't really like that. Trey Lyles, Derek Favors, use them at your own risk. I don't really like any of them. Let's get into Toronto and Chicago. So, who do we like on here? I like Kyle Lowry. because against MCW, who's not the best of defenders. I like Kyle Lowry in the spot. I do not like DeMar DeRozan, and that's specifically because Jimmy Butler is going to be on him. He's going to be locking him down, and I don't feel like DeRozan's going to have a good game. Mark my words, I don't feel like he'll reach 40 fantasy points tonight. That's what my prediction is. This one should be relatively close, I think. Jonas Valanciunas and Nogueira, they tried playing them both last game together, and I don't know how well it worked out. I didn't see the. Hold on, let me see. I can see the result of the last game. Oh shit! So Nogueira played 26 minutes at power forward, and they won against Utah. So they won 101-93. They went big against Gobert, and he had 21 fantasy points. So I did not know that. So with that being said, I like the Raptors to use Nogueira and Valanciunas together. That's going to mean Taj Gibson is going to be in there for a lot more minutes. Robin Lopez maybe, but I like Felicio in this spot. If Robin Lopez isn't doing well, they're going to put in Felicio. I have him in quite a few lineups. He's very, very under-owned. Every single game, he's less than 1% owned. I don't know why. I just fell in love with this guy. Like, I saw him one game, and he just dominated. I pick him almost every single night in one lineup that he plays. Every night that they play, I always pick Felicio. Mark my words, he will have a 50-point fantasy point breakout one of these days. I guarantee it. He is a starting caliber worthy center. And I really like him in the spot. Dwayne Wade is interesting against DeMar DeRozan's defense. I don't really like how DeMar plays defense particularly, so I like that play. Dwayne Wade 6,100, even though he's coming off that knee injury. He's always had those knee injuries, and he's always fought through them. So Doug McDermott, I don't really like with their lineup getting relatively healthy. Rondo's still out. So you can look towards Jerry Grant as a pump play, 3,500. MCW's in a great spot against Kyle Lowry. If he's going to be playing most of the game, like that, upwards of 30 minutes, he's in a good spot to give you that fantasy production. Taj Gibson, don't really like him. Robin Lopez either. So those are my guys that I like and don't like. DeMar Carroll's in a good spot because I feel like they're going to put him. He's their best wing defender, and he should be on Jimmy Butler the entire night. Now, I don't know how well it's going to work out, but I don't know. Terrence Ross is a guy you can look towards, especially if their offense in the first quarter is not generating enough points. They just throw Terrence Ross in, and he just lights up the stat sheet. Terrence Ross is one of my favorite NBA players, and I would love to see him traded to the Hawks, because I feel like he'll be the perfect fit on the Hawks. If he's starting next to Dennis Schroeder, and they put, let's say it's Terrence Ross and Patrick Patterson for Paul Millsap, you put Patterson at the 4 and Ross at the 2, and this should be a small, undersized team that's very capable of winning games. That could easily turn Terrence Ross into an all-star. I like Terrence Ross a lot. He's just a very good all-around player. Like, if you saw that Warriors game where they faced the Raptors faced the Warriors, and it was crazy, man. He lit up. I think he dropped 24 points against them, so he easily exceeded production there. Let's look at the Atlanta Hawks versus the Dallas Mavericks. Don't really like Schroeder against Darren Williams. The Hawks are on a back-to-back too. So Kyle Korver is traded. I'm so excited because now Cleveland's going to get another three-point shooter starting, filling that J.R. Smith role. Hopefully J.R. Smith stays out longer because I want to see how good Kyle Korver can be with LeBron James. Wide open threes, he's just going to make all of them, or at least more than 50% on those open looks. That being said, they're not going to have Korver tonight, obviously. Tim Hardaway Jr. is a guy you could look towards at 4,000. He should be the starting shooting guard now. He's also on the trade block too, but if he doesn't get traded before tonight's game, he's in for at least 30 minutes tonight. So at 4K, I really like him. Or you can look towards Ken Bazemore, 4,500. He could also be in line for 30. They're upwards of 30 minutes tonight, filling that Kyle Korver role. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I like Ken Bazemore more than Tim Hardaway. 4,500. he should be in line for a great game against the Mavericks and Wesley Matthews, who's coming off that Achilles injury that he's always had. Dwight Howard, don't really like this game as much. He almost went to the Mavericks. I thought I saw that, but I guess they didn't get him. Paul Millsap against Dirk. I think that's a good matchup, but they're also on a back-to-back. I don't really like targeting big guys on a back-to-back, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel on that. Dirk Nowitzki is definitely a great option at value. 5,000. It's not really that much value anymore, but he's played 28 minutes in his last game. He could play 30 in this one. So even though the matchup isn't great against Paul Millsap and Dwight Howard, Dirk's in an interesting spot for GPPs only, non-cash games. Harrison Barnes, don't like him against Paul Millsap. Darren Williams, you always want to target point guards against Atlanta. Atlanta is on a back-to-back. Say no more. Darren Williams is the best play on the board at the point guard's position. I feel like he's going to drop 30 to 40 fantasy points today if he's healthy. If he's healthy, put that asterisk on that statement. 6K, he's at a great value. Wesley Matthews, I feel so about him. You can put him in one or two lineups. I don't have much exposure to him. All right, let's get into how many games. Oh, we have 2 games left. All right, good. So we got Charlotte and San Antonio. So Charlotte, I think San Antonio is a favorite by a few points. Charlotte is going to be without Nick Batum in this game. So with that being said, I like Kemba Walker to step up on offense and lead them to at least keep it close. It could obviously turn into a blowout. It's the Spurs. But they need to go big. And with that being said, Roy Hibbert is a guy you can look towards. I had him in 50% of my lineups the last time he played, and he played very well. Put up 23 fantasy points in just 19 minutes. He had 8.6 rebounds, 1 assist, and 3 blocks. So if you're looking for that turn back the clock, Roy Hibbert, you might as well just take your chance on him. I just wish Cody Zeller would be ruled out already. He is questionable for tonight. So if he plays, I don't really like Roy Hibbert, but they're going to need to go big, especially against Pau Gasol, Aldridge, and Kawhi. They have 3 big guys, and they don't really have a lot of people to guard him. So my favorite small forward play at the value position, at the value price, 4,700 for Michael Kid Ghilchrist. He's going to be needing to lock down Kawhi Leonard as much as possible. He's an elite defender. But in saying that, I saw what Jimmy Butler did to him. He dropped 52 points. Now, I don't know if that says anything about his defense, if he was just off that game, if they were on a 3-4. I don't know. But he usually is one of the best defenders in the league. I like him to keep it close with Kawhi Leonard at least. It's going to be a tougher matchup for Kawhi especially. So that's why I like Lamarcus Aldridge as my favorite San Antonio play. 7,100, he's in a great spot. Great price too. I picked Aldridge all of last year and I won so much money with him because nobody wanted him. Everyone, like if you watch all those Roto Grinders people, nobody likes Aldridge ever. They say his price is too high. Who the fuck cares about price and whatever? As long as he's winning you money, there's nothing better than that. If it turns into a blowout, Dwayne Dedmon, obviously. Pau Gasol is a interesting play against Cody Zeller, Roy Hibbert. I don't like him if Hibbert's the center, but if Cody Zeller's starting, Pau Gasol's in for a great game. He's only 5,800, so he has that 40 to 50 fantasy point upside. So those are the guys you look for in GPPs. Now, without Nick Batum tonight, Danny Green should be in line for a great game. 3,900. I like him. Now, Tony Parker had an amazing game, but with that being said, his price jumped all the way up to 5,000. Don't really like that price, even though he gave that production for one game. He had dropped that 30-plus fantasy point game. Didn't really like that. Patty Mills is a guy you could look towards in a blowout, or if, let's say, Parker isn't doing well. I don't think Parker's going to do as well as last game because the matchup against Mudiay was so good. So, with that being said, Patty Mills should be in line to drop some threes. And on the flip side, without Nick Batum out, Marco Bellinelli against his former team. If you like revenge, 3,800 is a great. Oh shit, is a great spot. I'm sorry, I just woke up right now. I'm like out of it a little bit. Marco Bellinelli, 3,800. He's in a great spot. Jeremy Lamb too. If he's starting at small forward, no, he's not going to be starting at small forward because MKG is there. But he could be backing up MKG. Yeah, he is backing up MKG. So it's just them on the wing at small forward, Jeremy Lamb and MKG. So Jeremy Lamb should play at least 24 minutes in this game. At 4K, he's a very interesting value play. But I like MKG more. Marco Bellinelli also. It's only Marco Bellinelli and Jeremy Lamb is the only two shooting guards I see in the depth chart that I'm looking at. Anyway, so that covers that game. Last game on the slate. I'm sorry it's taken so long, but we're finally at the end, guys. Detroit Pistons versus the Portland Trailblazers. Now, if you watch my videos, you know that I love targeting big guys against Portland. And with that being said, Andre Drummond is in clear position to be the best center on the board tonight. At 7,600, he's going to get a 20-20 game. That's my prediction against Mason Plumlee's inexistent defense. Now, the only thing that Mason Plumlee's good at is passing. And that's why I don't really have a lot of him. It's just a bad matchup for him. He gets boards. I know he gets a lot of boards, but is that what you really want to win a GPP? Maybe, but there's other ways you can go. Boban Marjanovic had himself a night last game. Let me see what he had. Oh, shit. So in 22 minutes against Charlotte, he put up 15 points, 19 rebounds? What the fuck? How the fuck you put up 15 and 19 in 22 minutes and Andre Drummond needs a whole fucking game to do that? That's retarded. So I guess Boban should be in play, you know? 3,600. He jumped up 600 from his price last game. I wasn't on him because he just doesn't play. I mean, they signed him for a 3-year, $21 million deal, and he doesn't even play. I don't understand that. The logic behind that is just retarded. Reggie Jackson's a great play. I like him, but his price has jumped up to 7,000, so that hinders my interest level in him. But with that being said, against Damian Lillard coming back, this could be a Damian Lillard game. I feel like it is. At 8,600, he's at a great price. Why my voice cracked? 8,600 for Damian Lillard is pretty interesting because came back last game against the Lakers, didn't do as well as I hoped. I hoped he had that 60 fantasy point game. This is definitely a game that they can feast on. Reggie Jackson is actually doing worse on the defensive end than Ish Smith when Ish Smith was starting. So if Damian Lillard is going against Reggie Jackson, Damian Lillard should drop at least 50 fantasy points in this game if he stays healthy. Now, I don't like CJ McCollum. Actually, you know what? I take that back. So if Damian Lillard is getting covered by Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, I feel like KCP is going to slow him down a lot. So that's going to leave wide open shots for CJ McCollum. And this could be a good CJ McCollum game because his price has gone down a lot since Damian Lillard came back. He was at 9K like a few games ago, but now he's at 7,800. He's primed for a good spot. Let's say KCP is probably going to be on Damian Lillard. And if CJ McCollum is being guarded by Reggie Jackson, that's an even better spot for CJ. So if you want to go, whoever's guarding, whoever Damian Lillard is guarding, whoever Reggie Jackson is guarding is the guy on Portland you should target. That's my opinion. Don't really like anyone else on Portland. Mason Plumlee, 5,900. If you want to take a chance on him, I'll have him in like 1 or 2 lineups, like 1% exposure. That's really it. The blood, obviously, Ish Smith, 3,200. He's a guy you could look for if the defense, especially, isn't doing that well. Tobias Harris interests me at 6,200. Coming off the bench. What the fuck? Why's my voice cut? 6,200 though. Portland doesn't have a great bench whatsoever. Tobias Harris has played great off the bench. KCP is a guy that I like too, 5,500. But Marcus Morris, he had himself a game last game, but people are going to be on him because of that breakout game that he had. He'd been bad for so long, and then he just exploded. So I wouldn't chase that. But Thank you guys for watching. I'll leave my lineup in the bottom description of this video that I'm going to make specifically for this game. I make a lot of lineups, but I want to make this one main lineup that's going to win everyone money tonight. So use my predictions, use my plays, use it to your advantage. I'm giving you all. I do so much research all throughout the day. I woke up and I had an hour of research that I just did. Not even just looking at the Draftkings app. I researched on fantasyalarm.com, RotoWorld. I read so many articles already. I probably read like 10 since I woke up. But thank you guys so much for watching. Go to the bottom of this video. I will have my lineup fully there for you guys to use. If you want me to do FanDuel, just suggestion in the comments and I'll do it. This is just for DraftKings right now. Leave a like if you like any of these posters. They're selling them at my school. It was like $12 a pop. You got Muhammad Ali, the city skyline, and another city skyline. But thank you guys so much for watching, and tune in for more because I am back, baby. The fantasy professor is here to stay. Damn, I almost I was trying to end it right there, but thank you guys for watching.